This is part 2 in our series of how to grow moringa. I'm going to show how to grow a cutting. So moringa, even though this is a taproot tree, it's a remarkable characteristic that moringa has that I don't know any other taproot tree you can do this with. You can grow by cutting. So in San Diego, Southern California area, 1.5 inch to 2 inch diameter is about the dimension that you want to have. We do 2 foot, 18 inches to 2 foot cuttings. So this is something that has overwintered, and you can see, I mean, I've kept it in moisture. This is actually a narrower one. I always put narrow ones as well to give them the chance, even though the more successful ones are the thicker ones. In other parts of the country, like Florida, they have a harder time with the thicker dimension. For them, it's like pencil thickness. So there's a lot of degree of a variety of that. So this is where you can see it's already starting to leaf out in these leaf nodes. We've taken all those leaves off just to create a cutting. And when we cut these, we cut it at an angle. So it just makes it easier for that to go in to the soil. And so we're going to put that in about 6 inches. You could put it in deeper if you want, but we go about 6 inches. This is our dibber tool. So the same soil composition, 50% good potting, organic potting soil with 50% perlite and 10% worm castings. So we're putting a pilot hole with our dibber, and then you just press that right down in. And you just want to make sure you're not damaging where those leaf nodes are. And that's your cutting. And I want to show what it looks like. A cutting will actually grow its own taproot. It's a remarkable characteristic. I'm going to say that a number of times about moringa. It's a remarkable plant, and it will grow its own taproot right out of the bottom of this cutting. This is an example of a previous one, so you can see this is a cutting. It has been cut since we planted it, and another shoot comes up. And so this is, when we get into how to cut for higher leaf production, we're going to suggest that you cut this all the way down. But this is an example of what a cutting looks like as it starts to leaf out again after your season. I want to point out, I didn't take these off because I want to point out that yellow leaves on your plant is a way that moringa communicates. So this was stored in a place that it wasn't getting everyday water and during a really hot period of time. And so it'll start to communicate. So the yellow leaf can be some kind of a shock. It can be it has too much water. It can be that it has not enough water. It can be that it doesn't have enough sun. So this is the way that moringa communicates to you. It still has a lot of nutrients in there. It doesn't have chlorophyll, which is where antioxidants are in your plant, is in that green color. It will still have calcium, protein, right, because that's fixed in the leaf. It also will have a sweeter taste. So the bitterness is the taste of chlorophyll. So don't discount it and toss it out as having no value. It's just the way that it communicates, and you can still harvest that and eat that part of the plant as well. These are the examples for what a cutting looks like underground, and then once it's been planted. And I use these tall pots because in a nursery situation, you don't know how long this tree will stay in this pot before it gets to the consumer. So we will cut these down. When somebody buys that, they're going to want to cut that down, and then it'll send more shoots out. But that taproot will continue. This can stay in here for about 4 or 5 years. In Florida or more tropical area, it's going to be a less period of time because that root is going to grow faster just because it's in its correct planting climate. So try to find these tall pots. I do carry some on my website, 2 sizes, but contact me through my website for source of those tall pots. They're hard to find, but this is what you can readily find, this type of pot. It just won't last as long, but for home use, it's sufficient.